Hey everybody, it's Candy, aka Brown Eyed Girl 69. How y'all doing today? Well, if you've been watching if you've been watching my page at all, you'll know that I basically lost a friend, somebody I considered a friend. Somebody I spent a lot of time with, many hours with, talking to, getting to know, thinking that I'm getting to really know them on a, genuine level. But I'm also starting to learn in this life that people can be very convincing. People can be very convincing that they give a shit about you, you know? And I guess they do give a shit about you as long as it concerns them, but as long as I guess when it gets to the point where it no longer concerns them, that's when they quit caring about you. And that's when they cut you off and give you no explanation, as to why they cut you off. So that to me, and then of course, like me, I'm the only way I had to get in touch with this person was through their email. I never had access to their phone number or their address, even though I know where they live as far as what town they live in, but not like I'd ever want to drive that distance and to try to find them. I'm not that fucking obsessed with them, But it's just a simple fact that this person had my information, my address, my phone number, my email, my full access to me, basically. As in different ways of connecting with me, different ways of contacting with me, whether this person could have contacted me via text message, via calling my phone, and they did usually just connect with me via email. Because why would they want to, contact me and connect with me and let me have their own private number if they planned on just blowing me off whenever the tough got going or the whatever, And I didn't ever think that this person and I had any kind of issues or problems. I mean, the last time I talked to this person, it seemed like we had a pretty good conversation, actually. And that everything was fine, everything was good. And then, I don't know, I just started getting this feeling, an instinct, that something was wrong when I hadn't heard back from them in a couple of days. Something told me inside that I was never going to ever speak to them again. And I don't know why I felt that way, but it basically was, my instincts were correct. My instincts were correct. And it sort of scares me when my instincts are that correct. About somebody. I don't even know why this person did what they did as far as intentionally. I don't think they had anything going on intentionally, but it just was one of those things where we were friends, we were always talking behind the scenes, and sometimes we would go live together, and we were spending a lot of time. We would exchange photos, exchange stories, exchange emotion. All for it just to be thrown in the garbage can when it was no longer convenient for them. And the fact that they obviously don't think highly of themselves enough to contact me to let me know what the problem is. I mean, if this person was to have reached out to me and said, hey, Candy, I think there's a problem. I think that we need to talk about this, or we need, I have something's bothering me about you. Can we talk about it? I'd be like, yeah, what is it? What's the problem? And we would talk about it, discuss it, and see if we could move on from that, whatever the problem is, that's the problem. I don't know what the problem was or is. But I've already cut this person off. I'm tired of reaching out and trying to, find out what the issue is. And then I realized, maybe it's not me that's the problem. Maybe it's them that's the problem. Maybe they were getting too emotionally involved and don't know how to deal with it. So they don't have to deal with it. They just cut that person off because, well, it's just easier. It's just easier to cut somebody off than to try to face and deal with an issue that you have presented before you. That has to be it. That definitely has to be it. Because I swear, I've never done anything to this person other than love them and be nice to them and communicate with them and look forward to communicating with them, and looking forward to having conversations with them because I brought them into my heart. I shared parts of my life with them that were important to me, and I really opened up to this person in many ways on different levels, and just to have them turn around and toss me aside like a piece of garbage. I would never do that to somebody. I don't care who you are. If we're friends and we're talking, but then something happens to where there's like tension or an issue or something, I'm going to talk to you about it. I'm going to say, hey, I think this is going on or whatever. I mean, I've had people that got upset with me before because of the fact that I didn't believe the same way as them, or because I didn't want their consistent input on everything, Some people are like that too. They're so much of a teacher that they want to input into your life so much, and then if you don't necessarily agree with all the information they're giving you, well, then you're the enemy. Not like that was the case with this person, but that was the case with somebody else that I know. Or that's how they made me feel. And when I expressed to them how they made me feel in certain instances or whatever, well, then I was the problem. I was the one that needed to fix this. I was the one that needed to fix that. It's always me that has the problem. But these people never can face up to their own problems. They always out blaming somebody else. And it's like, me, I'm always trying to figure out why, I'm the one that's trying to figure out if I am the problem. Because I am the type of person that takes personal responsibility for her words and her actions. 100%. And if it's something that I do that I'm not aware of, and somebody makes me aware of it and brings that to my attention, then I'll look at it again from their perspective, and then I can see or not see what they're talking about. And sometimes the problem is me. And if the problem is me, then I'm willing to change. I'm willing to try to fix that problem. But if you don't let me know what that problem is, how can I fix it? That's why communication is very important. I am so 100% adamant about communication in all types of relationships, not just communication between a parent and a child, or a husband and a wife. Communication on all levels. With your parents, with siblings, with friends, with partners / lovers, your children. Communication is so necessary and is so key to the survival of relationships between people. What I see going on now is definitely separation. They wanted to get everybody alone. They wanted to divide people on many fronts. They wanted to turn families against one another. They wanted to turn friends against one another. They want to turn partners, siblings, parents, children. They wanted to divide us. And so far, from what I've seen these last 4 to 5 years, they've done a pretty damn good job of it. To where people would rather believe the media or whatever they're being shown by some whatever, most of it's AI nowadays, you can't even believe what you see. You can see things and they say, oh, this is a picture from the 1800s. Is it? Really? Is it a picture from the 1800s, or is that just what they want you to believe? Just like the history. Is it really what happened, or is it just what they're telling us happened? Did we really go to the moon, or did they just tell us we went to the moon? Did they just fake it and show it on TV when it was actually filmed in studio? Things like that, Is the Earth really a globe spinning so many thousand of miles per hour through some vast area known as space? No, I don't believe that garbage either, I believe we're in some stationary area. Because if we were traveling through space, the constellations that we see every night, every month, every year, every season, those wouldn't be the same if we were flying through space. The stars are supposed to be infinite, but the patterns aren't going to be the same, So that makes one stop and question. I would, anyway. I have, and I do. I question everything I'm taught. I question everything I was ever told. And I suggest y'all do the same. And I suggest that you be more aware of who you give your energy and time to online. Because up to this point, I was a pretty open and honest person. But after the experience I just had this past week, it's going to be very, 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 very hard for me to trust anybody ever again. Especially a new person that tries to come into my life and get to know me. For those that have known me for the past couple of years or longer, y'all are safe. But anybody new from this moment on, May 16th, 2024, that tries to come into my realm, I'm very sketchy. I will be very sketchy of you. And until you give me a reason to trust you, I won't. And that's just me protecting myself, because I've always been the one to give my effort and energy towards every type of relationship I've ever had. It was me giving the effort and the energy. Now, have I had partners that reciprocated and gave back their equal amount of effort and energy? Yes, I have. And then I've had some partners, friends, whatever, that were completely unequal in that realm, you know. All they did was just take, and they would rarely give back any energy or emotion to the situation or to the relationship. I'm an empathetic person, so I'm definitely a target because people like me. There's people out there, there's certain types of people out there that are attracted to my type of personality. Those people, though, are like narcissists, energy vampires. They might pretend that they care about you, but deep down inside they aren't. They don't. And deep down inside they're just playing some sick game. They're just playing some game with you just so they can get their freaking jollies. Even though they might appear to be all sweet and innocent online, but behind the scenes they're, probably not as sweet and innocent as they project themselves to be. But they only allow you to see what parts of them they want you to see. They don't allow you to see the full spectrum of themselves. And that's another reason why I don't like technology. Because it allows people to be more fake ever now than before in my life. Back when I was a kid growing up, they didn't have all this garbage going on that they got going on. Back when I was a kid growing up, you didn't have this technology. You actually were friends with people that were in your physical space, that you went to school with, that you lived in the same neighborhoods with, or the same town, whatever. And you get these people's actual phone number, and you could call them up after school, if you wanted to talk to them after school, or make plans with them for the weekend, or whatever. Communication. Nowadays, this phone has killed communication. Made it worse. Because up until you had caller ID, you didn't know who was calling your phone. The phone rang, you answered it. So there was no way to screen your calls. There was no way to see if you would want to answer the phone or not. Like nowadays, if we look on the phone and we have a person in our contact list, and we see, oh, so-and-so's calling. Well, I'm not really in the mood to talk to so-and-so today, so I'll just let it go to voicemail. That's what most people do. That's what some people do. My daughter does it all the time. And this is the only reason why I know behavior like that exists, because I see the behavior. I see the behavior of my daughter. I see the behavior with other people around me. I even exemplament some of those behaviors. Like if I see somebody calling that I might not want to speak to right then and there, I'll let it go to voicemail. But most of the time, 99% of the time, I answer my phone. 99% of the time, if I'm available to reply back to you, I reply back within minutes of receiving that text message or that phone call, if I wasn't able to pick up the phone when they were calling me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a special breed of cat or something. Maybe I'm just different. Maybe my problem is I expect others to behave the way I exude my behavior. I expect others to exude the same type of behavior. Why? Because to me, it's respect. To me, that's proper behavior. I know I was raised on how to behave properly when it comes to the public, when it comes to presenting myself to others. That's why I'm so good in customer service and cashiering kind of jobs, because I know how to present myself. I know how to communicate. I know how to listen. I know how to speak and I know how to listen. I guess there's not a lot of people out in this world nowadays that know how to do that. And for me, that's a problem. Why is it a problem? Because that shows me that as a society, communication was sort of kind of put on the back burner and not taught properly. You know? I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I just ramble on and people are going to not sit here and listen to what I got to say, which is fine. I guess when it really comes down to it, these videos aren't for anybody else other than for myself. You know what I mean? That's what it comes down to. But today's my last day off until tomorrow morning. Till Sunday is when I'll have my next day off. But I only have to work tomorrow and Saturday. Probably here this afternoon in a little bit I'm going to get out and about and maybe go do a couple errands. Because I just got paid today. Not like I got a lot of money. Anyways, it's all going towards bills or things I need here in the house. I definitely don't have no money just to go fling around just for the hell of it. Oh, and speaking of money, and on my next video, I'll bring this up at the very beginning. Somebody did cash at me $20, and that was within this last week also. So I appreciate it. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate it, because I'll tell you what, it was a surprise. When I logged into my email account and got a notification from Cash App that somebody sent me $20. So thank you. I appreciate it. And I'll say thank you to anybody else that feels led to send me any money, because right now, like I said, I work just to pay my bills. I have nothing extra left to spend on anything. I have to be very selective as to what I can even buy nowadays. I have to be selective on whether I can buy a loaf of bread or if I can buy a gallon of milk. You know what I mean? That type of selective. Whether or not I'm going to be able to purchase something. You know, because, well, I might not have the money to purchase all the things that I want or all the things that I need, you know. So I just got to be selective. But like I said, if there's anybody out there that feels led to bless me with a few dollars, I will say thank you and I will put it to good use. It definitely will help me with bringing supplies into my home that I definitely need and utilize. Thank y'all for coming and listening to me talk today and ramble on and singing my song, etc., etc. Much peace, love, hugs, nugs, and until the next time, bye for now.